Ladies, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some women can walk into a room fully dressed and somehow every man's attention shifts toward them? Not because they're the most beautiful, not because they're showing skin, but because there's something in the air around them, something warm, feminine, magnetic, something that makes a man think, who is she and why can't I look away? That's the kind of power we're unlocking today, because the truth is, you don't have to take your clothes off to seduce a man. You don't need a perfect body, a lingerie photo shoot, or a Hollywood bedroom moment. Real seduction, the kind that melts him, pulls him in, lives in his mind, and gets him addicted to your presence, happens long before anything physical ever starts. It begins with the way you look at him, the way you walk, the way your energy wraps around him without you even touching him. It's the way your voice softens when you speak his name. It's the way your presence makes him sit up a little straighter. It's the way he suddenly becomes aware of every inch of space between you. Men crave that. They crave a woman who knows her value so deeply that she doesn't try too hard, she simply is. A woman who can make his heart race with just a glance, a smile, a tiny moment of mystery. A woman who doesn't need to reveal her body because she knows the most irresistible part of her is the energy she carries. So today, I'm giving you the exact feminine secrets that make a man feel desire before a single piece of clothing comes off. The subtle, sexy, powerful things that turn his attention into obsession. Get ready, because this is seduction on a completely different level. Let's get into it. When I say seduce him with your presence, I'm talking about a power that doesn't come from skin, curves, or anything you take off. It comes from the energy you walk into the room with. The kind of energy that makes a man forget how to breathe for a second. Because real seduction doesn't start with your body, it starts with your aura, the vibe you give off without even trying. And most women don't realize how magnetic they already are when they stop performing and start being. You seduce a man with presence when you carry yourself like a woman who knows her value, who doesn't shrink, who doesn't chase validation, who doesn't sit there wondering if she's enough because she already knows she is. A woman's presence can be more erotic than lingerie when she's calm, grounded, and fully connected to herself. Men feel that. They feel it instantly. It's the way you hold eye contact a little longer than necessary. Not in a needy way, but in a, I see you, and I'm not scared of that way. It's the way you speak slowly, deliberately, like your words have weight. It's the way you listen, not to impress, but to understand. Men fall for the woman who is confidently silent just as much as the woman who is beautifully expressive. Presence is also created by your boundaries. The way you carry yourself makes him think, she's not just anyone, I have to rise to meet her. That's seductive. When you're selective with your time, intentional with your energy, and you make him earn access to your deeper world, he becomes drawn to you in a way he can't explain. You don't need to take off your clothes, you simply need to show that you're a woman who chooses herself first, and that choosing him would be a privilege, not a guarantee. And here's the secret. When a woman is rooted in who she is, she creates an emotional temperature around her warm, feminine, inviting, intriguing. He leans in. He pays attention. He becomes addicted to the experience of being in your space. That's the art of presence. That's the seduction that lingers in a man's mind long after the moment ends. It's not your body that hypnotizes him. It's your essence, your energy, your quiet confidence. That's what he remembers. That's what pulls him back every single time. When you understand how powerful your voice is, you stop underestimating the effect you have on a man long before anything physical ever happens. A woman's voice can touch a man without her hands ever moving. It can melt his defenses, spark his imagination, and make him feel desired in a way that is subtle, classy, and deeply seductive. Using your voice like a warm touch isn't about whispering or trying to sound sexy on purpose. It's about speaking in a way that carries emotion, intention, and presence. Men are incredibly sensitive to tone. They remember how your voice made them feel far more than the exact words you spoke. When you lower your tone slightly, not to imitate someone else, but to relax into your natural femininity, it sends a signal that you're in your soft, receptive, intimate energy. When you slow your pace just a little, it forces him to tune in, to listen closely, to lean toward you as if he doesn't want to miss a single syllable. And when you allow warmth, humor, curiosity, or a little teasing spark to color your words, you create emotional texture. That texture is what seduces him. It makes your voice feel like hands tracing along his skin, gentle, warm, intentional. Your voice also becomes seductive when you show genuine interest. When you say his name in conversation, when you let your tone soften for a moment right before making a point, when you drop your volume for just one sentence so he has to focus on you, that's intimacy. Men crave that. It draws them in effortlessly. You're not trying to be sexy, you are sexy because you're present, connected, and speaking from your feminine center instead of rushing, reacting, or trying to impress. And here's the real magic. You don't need to give long speeches. Sometimes a single line said with the right tone is more powerful than a paragraph. A simple "I like that" in a slow, warm voice can light up every nerve in his body. A playful, low "oh really" can make him feel challenged and excited at the same time. And long before you ever touch him, your voice has already created the emotional chemistry that makes him want you more. Seduction starts in the mind, and your voice is the bridge that carries him there. There is a kind of eye contact that doesn't just connect two people, it charges the air between them. It's not the quick glance you give a stranger, and it's not the polite look you give a coworker. It's deeper. It lingers just long enough to say something without words. And this tiny, almost effortless act can seduce a man far more powerfully than showing skin or making a bold move. Because when you make eye contact with a man, you're giving him a moment of intimacy, and when you look away slowly, you're giving him the chase. That combination is irresistible. Men are visual creatures, yes, but even more than that, they are responsive creatures. They respond to signals, tiny, subtle cues that tell them whether you're open, interested, playful, or unattainable. This simple move, meeting his eyes, holding for a couple of seconds, then breaking the gaze with a slow, soft look away, speaks an entire language. First, it tells him you noticed him. That's already magnetic. Second, it tells him you're confident enough not to look away immediately. Confidence is intoxicating. And third, the slow look away creates a delicious moment of mystery. Like, you know exactly what you're doing. Like you're saying, "I see you, but you don't get all of me yet." That is the kind of subtle seduction men can't resist, because it gives them both reward and pursuit. The trick is to do it with softness, not intensity. Hard eye contact can feel confrontational or anxious, but soft, relaxed, feminine eye contact, that's alluring. When your eyes say, "I'm here, I'm open, I'm enjoying this," he feels it. When you let your gaze drift away slowly, like you're almost savoring the moment, he feels that too. It gives him room to imagine what you're thinking. It invites curiosity. It makes him wonder what that look meant, what you felt in that second, and whether he imagined the spark or whether it was truly there. And the moment a man starts wondering about you, you've already seduced his mind. There's also something incredibly powerful about the contrast. Holding eye contact says confidence. Looking away slowly says softness. Together, they create a feminine tension that draws a man's attention like a magnet. In that moment, you're not trying to be sexy, you are sexy. Because you're comfortable in your skin and communicating with your eyes instead of forcing anything with your body. Men love that. It feels organic, natural, like something few women know how to do. And don't underestimate the power of timing. You don't need to stare. 2 to 3 seconds is enough. Just long enough for your eyes to speak, and when you look away, don't snap your head or drop your gaze nervously. Let it be slow, intentional, almost like you're drifting into a thought he would love to know. It's an exquisite combination of presence and mystery. This moment, this tiny gesture can replay in his mind all night. It can make him crave more. It can make him think of you long after the conversation ends. That's what real seduction is, leaving him with a feeling he can't shake. And sometimes all it takes is a look, There is a kind of touch that doesn't shout, doesn't demand, doesn't rush, it whispers. It lingers. It sends a message that goes straight past a man's logic and directly into his nervous system. A soft, unexpected touch can do more to seduce a man than any dramatic gesture because it reaches him on a primal level. Men may pretend they're tough, unmoved, or unaffected, but the truth is this: the right woman's touch can short-circuit his entire internal world. When you touch a man lightly, a gentle brush of your fingers on his arm as you laugh, the soft press of your hand on his shoulder when you're walking past him, a playful tap on his chest when he says something funny, you're waking up his senses, you're letting his body know, I'm comfortable with you. Without saying a word, it creates a spark, a micro moment of intimacy that feels natural, effortless, and deeply exciting. It's not about being seductive on purpose, it's about being present and connected, letting your femininity flow through small, intentional gestures. What makes unexpected touch so powerful is the contrast. He's not prepared for it. He's listening to you talk, then suddenly he feels your hand on his forearm. He's standing next to you, then your fingers graze his back lightly as you move around him. He doesn't see it coming, and because of that, his body reacts instantly. A slight breath change, a tiny freeze, a moment of heightened awareness. In that instant, his attention shifts from the conversation to you, and not just you, but how you make him feel. Light touch also communicates confidence. A woman who isn't afraid to initiate small physical cues shows that she's comfortable in her own skin, comfortable with him, and comfortable with the energy between you. It's feminine leadership, subtle, soft, but incredibly influential. It shows him that intimacy doesn't need to be rushed or forced. It can be built through small, delicious moments of physical connection. And here's something most people don't talk about. Men remember how a touch felt. They remember the warmth of your hand, the softness of your skin, the way your energy moved through that brief contact. They replay those moments in their mind, sometimes long after the interaction. That single fleeting brush of your fingers might be the exact moment he realized he wanted to get closer. The beauty of light, unexpected touch is that it allows tension to build slowly, and tension is the heart of seduction. You're not overwhelming him with physicality, you're inviting him into your world one gentle moment at a time. You're creating a rhythm, a touch, a smile, a pause, then space again. This rhythm makes him crave more. It makes him lean in. It makes him wonder what those touches could become if the energy between you keeps deepening. Seduction isn't a performance. It's a series of beautifully timed moments. And sometimes the smallest touch, soft, subtle, unexpected, is the moment that changes everything. Creating mystery isn't about playing childish games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about understanding one of the deepest truths of male psychology. Men are most captivated by the woman who reveals herself slowly, not because she's hiding, but because she values herself enough not to put her entire heart, story, body, or attention on the table for a man she barely knows. Seduction, in its most elegant form, is a slow reveal, not a full-length movie shown in the first 5 minutes. When you don't give everything at once, you create a magnetic tension. You make him wonder about you. You make him lean in. Men love pursuit, not because they want a challenge for their ego, but because pursuit gives them emotional investment. A man values what he works for. And when you reveal yourself layer by layer, when you let him discover new parts of your personality, humor, passion, and desires over time, he feels like he's on a journey, not a transaction. Mystery doesn't mean being cold, distant, or unavailable. It means being selective. It means understanding that not every question deserves an answer. Not every compliment deserves a full paragraph. Not every moment needs complete vulnerability. You don't need to download your entire childhood or relationship history into his lap on date one. You don't need to reply instantly to every message just to avoid losing him. You don't need to say yes to every plan to prove you're interested. Mystery is rooted in confidence, the confidence to be comfortable with your own pace. When you keep some parts of yourself private, you create a space he wants to enter. When you share pieces of your world sparingly, You make those pieces precious. Imagine this. You tell him a story about your day, but you don't fill in every detail. You leave one line unsaid. You let him ask questions. You let him participate in the moment. Mystery transforms the interaction from a monologue into a dance. And yes, this applies to physical intimacy too. You don't have to rush to prove chemistry. You don't have to offer every sensual inch of yourself to get affection. When you let physical closeness build gradually, a touch here, a whisper there, a glance that lasts longer than it should, you amplify desire. You're not withholding, you're pacing. You're allowing anticipation to grow. And anticipation is the soul of seduction. Men fall harder for the woman who lets them discover her, the woman who surprises them, not with drama, but with depth. The woman who doesn't need attention every second because she's busy living her life. The woman who reveals, yes, but slowly, intentionally, authentically. Mystery is not about becoming untouchable. It's about becoming unforgettable. It's about leaving him with the delicious feeling that there's always more to learn about you, more to experience with you, more to explore. That's the kind of woman a man can't stop thinking about long after the night ends. There's a certain art to seduction that many women overlook, the art of knowing when to pull back. Not disappear, not punish, not play cold games, but gracefully, intentionally pull back just enough to let a man feel the absence of your attention. Because here's the truth. Desire doesn't grow when everything is constantly available. Desire grows in the space between moments. It grows in the pause. It grows when the energy shifts from constant engagement to a gentle retreat that makes him notice, wait, where did she go? I want more. Pulling back is powerful because it activates something ancient in a man, the instinct to pursue, to lean in, to invest. When you're always present, always texting first, always initiating conversation, always giving your emotional energy on demand, you leave no room for him to move toward you. You become the rhythm, the oxygen, the whole flow of the connection. But when you intentionally step back, even slightly, you create a delicious gap where he has to make a move. A gap that makes him wonder, makes him think, makes him miss the warmth you naturally bring. And this pullback is not rejection. It's not manipulation. It's balance. It's the beautiful dance between giving and receiving. When you pull back, you're saying, I like you, but I also like myself. And I'm not abandoning my world just because you stepped into it. Men find that unbelievably attractive. It communicates emotional maturity, self-worth, and a woman who isn't driven by fear, a woman who doesn't cling, a woman who is open to connection but not dependent on it. The key is subtlety. It doesn't mean ignoring him. It doesn't mean acting cold. It simply means not rushing to fill every silence, not jumping to reply instantly, not over-explaining, not over-giving. It means allowing conversations to breathe. It means letting him be the one who sends the next text sometimes. It means if you're always the one planning, you step back and give him the chance to step up. It's the quiet declaration that your life is full, your world is rich, and he's invited to join, but he has to walk into it, not be dragged into it. Pulling back also strengthens your emotional boundaries. It keeps you from pouring into someone who isn't pouring back. It helps you see whether the connection is real or just convenient for him. Because when you pull back and he doesn't move toward you, that's information. When you pull back and he closes the distance, that's desire. Men fall for the woman who isn't afraid of losing him because that woman isn't operating from fear at all. She's operating from self-respect. She knows she brings value. She knows she is worth pursuing. She knows that connection should be a two-way flow. And this is why the strategic pullback is one of the strongest seductive tools you have. It leaves a trail of longing. It gives him space to realize how much he enjoys your presence. It lets him feel the contrast between having your energy and missing it. And that contrast is what makes him crave you even more.